Yeah. Okay. I'm happy to say that my new graphics card is working perfectly. It's nice to finally be able to do a whole bunch of stuff all day and not experience any crashes or any problems. So I got that settled and then went to the post office to return my old defective one. Shipped that out. Spent some time in the park. Made some more considerations and some rewrites with regards to some of the ideas for my promotional ideas. And I don't even know where the day went. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what I did today. I was mostly running errands. What did I do? I went and shipped that out, hit the gym, spent some time outside writing that stuff. Is that really it? Is that all I did? Oh yeah, and then this is so stupid. I got in the mail today. So one of the pieces of equipment that I needed for making my promotional videos for the game was a microphone, specifically one that can work with my phone. I decided as a cheaper option that'll give me higher quality to use a wired lav mic instead of a wireless mic. So I got my lav mic today, and it comes in this little case, and I took out the mic and was taking a look at it and seeing how it clips on and all that. Anyway, when I went to put it back in the case, I was trying to figure out what the best way to roll it up is, because the case is pretty tiny. And so I was like, I don't know, can I kind of just like coil up the wire and just shove it in there? And then I Googled what the best way was to store wires like that, or does it matter if I scrunch it all up and put it in there? It turns out it can matter. It can screw up your wire. You can make it last longer if you coil it properly. So apparently there's something called the over-under method for coiling a wire the right way, so that when it uncoils, it comes out perfectly straight. And apparently this way you can retain their quality for years to come. In fact, you can actually make the wire more straight over time if you always store it properly this way. So I decided to look it up and figure out how to do this. I swear to God, dude, it took me like 2 hours to understand how this works. It's so simple and so stupid, but I was like annoyingly sitting there like, I don't understand this. Like, okay, you do the simple coil is like the obvious way you would do it, where you just kind of like wrap it around, right? You wrap it around your hand. What I didn't understand is, and the way it works is you're supposed to go over, which is the normal way you would do it, and then you go under, where you go the other way. And that's where I was confused, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out like how the fuck this was supposed to work. It took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I think because it took a couple hours for me to finally figure it out, and it clicked with me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I still to this moment, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's kind of like the rotation of your hand when you're coiling it. You have to do like the reverse and then go underneath it, kind of like that. And anyway, apparently this like clockwise, counterclockwise, alternating way of coiling it counteracts all the twisting, so it keeps the wire perfectly straight. Anyway, so I figured it out after like 2 hours, but then I wanted to practice it and make sure that I really got the hang of it. So I spent a bunch of time today learning how to coil a fucking wire. But it's probably worth it in the long run to make sure that I take good care of this lav mic. I mean, I paid almost like $200 for it, and I'm gonna need it for all my future videos. So anyway, so that happened. Oh yeah, and then my shower head. I mentioned previously my shower head broke while I was showering. So I got a new one today, replaced that as well. So just a bunch of errands and random shit I was doing today. Game-wise, I didn't get around to doing much. I just added in the rest of the roofing. I suppose I can quickly show that. It's not that interesting, but I just did that and a little bit of decorating. So very little work. And here I am up super late again. And you know what the problem is with this stuff? When anytime I stay up way too late, you get stuck in a cycle then. Because obviously if you sleep in, you wake up late the next day, and then you're doing stuff, and then you get to work. And for me, as I mentioned before, my biggest problem is when I get into doing something, I get stuck into doing it. Like I have to finish this one thing before I go to bed. And then I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to have a day, because really what you need is a day to reset at that point. You're going to have one day where you wake up late, you don't get much done because of that, but then if you want to reset your sleep cycle, you got to go to sleep earlier. But I always want to get something else done, and I hate the idea of having a day where I wasn't productive and I didn't get enough done. So then I find myself forcing myself to do more, but because I'm doing more, I end up staying late again. So now I'm in this annoying position where it's like, hey, tomorrow, if I really want to fix this, like, I think I can do it tomorrow. Today, I think was a little off because of all these stupid little errands I had to do and getting distracted with some other shit. But anyway, quick look at the game here. You can see all the roofing I extra did there and some statues and stuff. And this roofing is actually a little more annoying than it might seem. For the most part, it's just slapping these sprites on, but there's actually this little tricky thing I do here as well. It can be kind of tedious. Is on the corners here, these are actually different sprites. Like you can see actually the roof goes all the way into here. So these are two separate sprites. On actual corners like here, it's just a corner sprite, so that one's easy. But on these ones, I came up with this trick where the way it actually works is this bar here is a sprite, and then this triangle you're seeing here is actually a mask, and it is hiding. As you can see, this sprite actually goes all the way up here, but you see it blends perfectly, and that's because that triangle that I just showed you there, the mask, is actually masking the rest of the sprite. So you take that off, and then this corner piece acts as like a blending point for the two sprites. Pretty clever, pretty cool. Not to pat myself on the back too hard for that one. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'm still otherwise feeling great though. As I've been saying repeatedly, yeah, dude, just like every day that goes by, I just feel how, like, man, just even if my one thing goes off a little bit, like with my sleep, mentally I am just 110%. And I don't remember the last time I felt this good. Total lack of anxiety or anything. Oh, I also had a couple experiences today, or not a couple, just one experience today where I think my sociability has come back somewhat naturally. I mentioned how I went for such a long period of time without talking to anyone in real life anyway, and so it gave me a certain, I don't know if social anxiety is the right term, but just a hesitation in going up to someone randomly or just saying something off the cuff or whatever. Anyway, today when I was walking towards the post office, there's this lady standing in front of this building that looked very historical. It's a very fancy looking building, but it's like right in the middle of this downtown area that's all these new townhouses and stuff. So I don't know, it kind of stands out. It's very odd, beautiful, but odd looking old building. And she's standing outside there, and she was taking what looked like a photo of a sign out front that said, I don't know, no private property, no trespassing or something. Anyway, so I'm looking at the building too, and it's a pretty fascinating building. I've always been curious about what the deal with it is. And, you know, she looks over and notices me, like, walking towards her, and then just as I walked by her, I kind of turned around and was just like, yeah, pretty interesting building, eh? I don't even know why I'm telling this story. It's so fucking stupid. But I guess it's just the fact that I felt this compulsion to just like say something, and normally for the past year or so, I'm just like, I don't fucking talk to anyone or do anything. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. And I'm very, very reserved, very introverted. But yeah, I've just felt so, I don't know, I've been feeling so like mentally open recently, and it just occurred to me compulsively. I was just like, yeah, it's a pretty crazy building, eh? As I walk by. But I say that to her, and I don't know, because, I mean, she was Asian, so I don't know, maybe like, she doesn't speak English or something, I don't know, because she like looked at me and gave me like a weird like wave or something, and then just went back to her phone. I was like, okay. So, weird response. But anyway, just another level of feeling more mentally open recently, of coming back to myself and feeling good about it. And so more and more eager to take a night off some weekend and hit up the jazz club or something like that. Should be fun. Yeah, that's all I got to say. So, got stuff done today, but not as productive as I hope. But also, I need to give that up so that I can take a day off and properly reset my sleep schedule here. Hell, even just going to bed a bit earlier, like slowly bringing it back, ought to help. I'm not even doing that. Also, I have 8 more days before I must send over the new trailer I have to make for the Brutal Indies showcase that I'm going to be a part of. So I was thinking of giving myself many days to make it because I wanted to really put a good effort into it and show off the new Archer content. Possibly even do some fresh custom voiceovers for Genyu for the trailer or something like that. So yeah, I might maybe get started on that tomorrow as well. We'll see. I would like to get, one thing that's missing right now artistically is I don't have a death sprite for when the arrow hits you as the archer. Your head just disappears. So I asked Maria, my animator, to put together some sprites for the player getting killed by the arrow. So hopefully I'll have that in time for the trailer because I think that'd be something fun to show off too. Okay, I'm going to bed. Good day.